I can easily tell you, I'm a top motivational speaker.
Trent Shelton now sharing the life lessons he learned.
I can easily tell you, I played in the NFL, and I'm a Baylor legend.
Trent Shelton, touchdown, Baylor!
I can easily tell you, I have over 10 million followers and over 1 billion video views. I can easily tell you, I travel all across the world and inspire people.
Love each other, man, period. At the end of the day, we all going to the same place, straight up.
But I'm not here to impress you with numbers. I'm here to impact your life. So if you're ready to make the world respect your greatness, tell the person sitting next to you, it's rehab time. Let's get it.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is our honor to bring you, now come on, get on your feet, get up, and let's get hype for Mr. Trent Shelton! What's up, how y'all doing? Y'all good? Are y'all good? Are y'all good?
I'm prolific, so gifted.
Y'all can sit down.
I'm the type that's gon' go get it, no kidding. Bracket.
What's up? Y'all good for real? All right, I'm an energy person, so I need energy, all right? So I don't need y'all just sitting there acting like y'all tired. Are y'all good for sure? Yeah! All right, tell the person next to you, say it's about to get real. Tell the other person next to you, if you don't have nobody, just say it to Casper. Say it's about to get real. There we go. So I want to talk about a lot of things today. If you ever heard me, anybody familiar with my videos, anything, heard me speak before? Some of y'all, okay, cool. All right, so one thing about me is I love to come from the heart. So I'm not a professional motivational speaker. I'm an introverted person by nature. If you ask my dad, he would pick me the last out of our 3 boys to be a speaker ever. But I will tell you this. I'm here to impact a life. I don't know who it is. I don't know if it's all of you, but if it's just one of you, then my job is done. And the thing about me is that I'm going to step on your toes, I promise you. Some of y'all might go unlike my page after and say, I'm not following Trent no more. I don't like him. He's too real, right? But outside your comfort zone is where change takes place. I'm sure you heard this echoed throughout this whole conference. Shout out to Mike, by the way, too. Give it up for him, all right? Yeah. For someone to step out and do something, it's incredible. I remember when I first started Rehab Time a decade ago. I would throw events in places like this, and it's funny because when I first did it, it'd be like the first 2 rows, like 10 people showed up, and it would literally be my family and my friends, and that's it, all right? But I never cared about numbers. And I'm going to talk a lot about this. I cared about impact. And a lot of us, what we do as entrepreneurs, just in life in general, we allow numbers to control our life. How many people like us and follow us? We live in the social media era, and I'm a person that has millions of followers. I'm going to tell you right now, numbers do not matter. What matters is impact. You can have millions of followers and impact nobody's life, or you can have 10 followers and impact all 10. Who's making a greater impact? The 10. So don't get caught up in that. Numbers lie. They do. People say women lie, men lie, numbers don't lie. That's kind of true. Numbers do lie too. Because numbers told me that this wasn't the purpose for my life. Numbers told me that, maybe you should try to do something else. We're going to talk about opinions. People told me that I shouldn't be a speaker. So when you look at me today or anybody else up here that comes up here throughout this conference, the thing I want you to get, especially from my life, I don't want you to be like, oh man, Trent was such a great speaker. You should leave here saying, if Trent can travel the world, and I don't say these things to impress you. But if I can go to 13 countries with my own events, doing this, there's nothing special about it except sharing my heart, then what's impossible for you? Too many times we operate from the impossibility mindset. We think about what we can't do. We think about all the limitations in our life. Like even right now, some of us is sitting here throughout this whole conference saying, that's cool, but that's easier said than done. That's the sorriest excuse I've ever heard in my life. And I get that so much because you know why? That was my excuse in life. Oh, that's easier said than done. Duh, everything is. Getting dressed is easier said than done, but you do it. Cooking food is easier said than done, but you do it, right? Because you're hungry. So when it comes to your life, when are you going to stop saying easier said than done and start saying no matter how impossible it may seem, no matter how many people doubt me, no matter how many failures I run into on this journey of success, I'm going to get it done. That's the mindset that you have to have. Stop thinking about all the reasons why you can't do it and find the one reason why you can, why you have to, why you should. Start taking responsibility over your life. What would your life look like if you took full responsibility over your life? I'm not talking about partial, halfway, because we live in a society, and trust me, when I was in pain, I was the same way. I was the biggest hater in the world. When I got cut from the Colts, I was like, Peyton Manning sucks. He's not good. Right? How silly that sounds. I was angry because I was in pain. So I get it when you're in pain. But I realized this. As long as you're living life like this, pointing the finger at everybody else, it's my parents' fault. It was my circumstances. It's where I'm from. It's my spouse's fault. It's my kids. And all these things might be true. But at the end of the day, it's still an excuse. And you have a choice in this life. You can make moves or you can make excuses. So many people live in, I like to call it the BC mindset. You know what BC stands for? Blame and complain. That's the mind. Every time it's somebody else's fault. And as long as you're living in a BC mindset, you're giving that thing, that person, that situation, the power to control your life. And how you take your life back, you look in the mirror and say, it's on me. Everybody say, it's on me. That's how you take your life back. No matter how many people have hurt you, right? The pain might not be your fault, but the healing is your responsibility. The setback might not be your fault, but the comeback is your responsibility. What happened to you happened to you. It doesn't have to be your whole story. You're literally a choice away from a new beginning. A choice. That's it. And a commitment away from a new life. So when are you going to choose to have that AC mindset? You know what AC stands for? Accept and change. Accept what's happened and then change your life from it. But Trent, my past is too bad. I promise you, this is so funny when it comes to me speaking. Like, there's people who just got hip to me now, and they're like, I could never see Trent acting like that in his past. And there's people in my past, I can never see Trent being a speaker. You're not your past. You don't have to be your past. You're not the mistakes that you made. Just because you made mistakes doesn't mean you are one. But you have to make that choice to own it and say, look, that's what I did, but now I'm going to use that to build my future. I wouldn't be able to make the videos that I make, stand on stages, if it wasn't for the things that I went through. So take full responsibility over your life. It's the reason why I say it all starts with you, because it does. It doesn't start with me speaking to you, me motivating you. And listen, the title motivational speaker is great, but if you need somebody to motivate you to change your life, you need to look at your life. Your motivation should come from you. For parents in here, your motivation should come from your kids when you look in your kids' faces at night. I got 3, well 4 including my dog. And I refuse not to be I refuse not to meet the greatest version of myself, not just for me, but for them. Your choices will become your child's consequences. Your decisions will help shape your child's destiny. Don't let your mess become the foundation for their life. So fix it. Try to fix it. Give your story to the world. Y'all got that? Say straight up. Straight up. This guy right here, pretty sure nobody probably really knows him except the people that know him, but that's a light moment because it's right? That's such a light moment because it's about to get really, it's about to switch. But I'm glad, like literally, this is my friend Anthony Arlon. And if you know my story, a lot of people ask with rehab time, like, where did rehab come from and how did you become a motivational speaker and all these things, right? Well, Anthony is no longer with us. Anthony committed suicide. One of my best friends committed suicide in 2011. He took his life. And I made a promise to Anthony that I would dedicate the rest of my life helping people. And I want to be clear. Public speaking is, how many of y'all, this is y'all's biggest fear, right? Everybody, right? People would rather, I always say, people would rather be in the casket and give the eulogy. Like death is not the, death is not the number one fear in the world, it's public speaking. Look it up. Ask Siri. And there's so many reasons why, which I don't have time to talk about, but there's so many reasons why, but that was my biggest fear. This is my biggest fear. It was. But I made a promise to him when I went to his service and I seen him laying in the casket, and I said, Anthony, I'm going to make sure that I dedicate the rest of my life keeping you alive. So I don't know if any of you have dealt with losing somebody. People say, how do I get over losing somebody? For one, you never get over it. But what you do is you keep them alive through you. Anthony is no longer here in my life physically, but he's more alive in my life spiritually than he's ever been. Because now millions of people are now affected by a situation that happened to him. So the question, I'm going to ask you a lot of questions because it's not about me, it's about you. The question that I want to ask you right now is, what's going to be your reason? What's your reason? I'm not talking about a surface level reason. I want to get, personal development conferences. It's all about how to be successful and how to make more money and all these things. Let me tell you something right now. Listen, I'm not against making money and financial freedom, but there's a lot of people that I know that are financially free that still ain't free. So if you're thinking about all these external things that will change your life, if I had more followers, my life would be great. I like to tell people, more followers, more problems. What's going to be a rooted reason that's going to keep you going? What's going to be that reason when nobody supports you, when nobody believes in that you still do it, when you throw an event and not many people show up and you still keep going? I can never quit because of the promise that I made to him. So when this journey got hard, when it still gets hard, I still remember him and the promise that I made. Some of us, we don't have a real reason. So every time something gets hard, doesn't go the way we want it to go, we quit. We throw in the towel. I tell people all the time, I don't bring a towel to throw in at all. Either I'm going to find a way or I'm going to create a way. If people won't give me opportunity, I'm going to create my own opportunity. People wasn't bringing me in to speak. 10 years ago, 9 years ago, 8 years ago, I wasn't getting on stages at all. And I'm going to just can I be real with y'all? Yeah. A lot of it is because how I looked. Back then, it wasn't acceptable to dress like this. I didn't have a suit and a tie. Somebody told me I wasn't professional enough. But I'll tell you one thing, I was purposeful enough. So when they wouldn't give me or let me in their building, you know what I did? I built my own building. And it was hard. It took years, like I said, a decade. But so many of us, we want that shortcut to success. We want to fake it till we make it. It's crazy because I'll go on Instagram and I'll see people's bios speaking things that they don't not even living. Some of us will spend hours to have the right bio. But we don't spend our life dedicating to what we believe in. I like to say, live it, breathe it, be it. If I was around you for 24 hours, would your life be a reflection of the things that you say you stand for? Because especially in this space, it's funny because I'll see people on stage, but off stage, they ain't the same person. Offline, they ain't the same person. For me, I'm more worried about my offline life than I am more about my online life. I refuse to be a success to the world, to be unsuccessful to my world. I don't want my kids to be like, my dad's a failure, but he's successful to y'all. So what's really going to matter at the end of your life? And I'm not trying to dim down the mood, but I just got to be real with you. 150,000 people die every day. 55 million people a year. Life is not guaranteed, people. I went to a funeral, 2 funerals in the last month. And the one thing that I could think about was, did my friend die with regrets? Did he give all of him to the world? I know he was alive, but did he truly live? See, some of us, we leave our gifts wrapped up inside us because we're so afraid of what people are going to think. We're so afraid of failure. Who cares about failing? Fail your way to success. Fail your way forward. It's the only way. Some of us, we're so afraid to be embarrassed. You know, my first speaking engagement to 5,000 kids, I literally froze on stage and forgot everything I prepared. And if you never spoke in front of kids, go speak in front of kids. The hardest audience you will ever face, right? They look at you like, what? What are you talking about? Cracking jokes? I felt like it was karma when I was in high school, right? That was me. But I learned to go try. You'll never succeed if you don't try. If you're afraid of failure, then you're afraid of success. As I tell my son all the time as a receiver in football, you're afraid to drop the ball, you're afraid to catch it. So if you do anything when you leave here, please find a deeper reason. Some people like to call it a why. Weak why, results in weak actions. A strong why results in strong actions. Don't have these surface level reasons of why you want to be successful. In my definition of success, I feel like success is an individual definition for everybody. But please don't think success is tied to some number or tied to celebrity or tied to popularity. Because I'm tired of seeing people lose their identity for popularity. I'm tired of people losing themselves just to gain something that is not going to make them fulfilled. I think one of the biggest disappointment in being successful is getting to a level of success and realizing that you're still not fulfilled. Bob Goff has this quote, I'm probably going to butcher it and put it in my words, but from his book, Love Does, he says, I used to be afraid of failing at things that mattered to me. Now I'm more afraid of succeeding at the things that don't. What really matters to you? And when you find that out, live every single day dedicating your life to it. Every day. If y'all got that, say straight up. Straight up. All right, don't say it if you don't mean it. All right? One of the most powerful things that I ever did was trust my vision and not people's opinions. I trusted my vision and not people's opinions. And I know y'all know this, but I just understand everybody's not going to see your vision, right? Everybody's not going to see your vision. And I'm a firm believer in my faith. I believe God gives you a vision for you to see. Stop expecting everybody else to see it. And if you're looking for the people closest to you to support you, you're looking in the wrong place. You're lucky if you have somebody that's close to you that will support you and believe in you. But a lot of times it's the closest people to you that believe in you the least. You ask why? Because you're too close to them to see your greatness. They're too familiar with you. So what they do is they normalize your gifts. And I see so many people turn away from their purpose and their gifts because the people close to them don't support them. It's crazy to me. Stop letting people's opinions control your life. Stop letting people who have never been successful at what you're trying to be successful at tell you what you should do and what you shouldn't do. When I had the crazy dream of making this in the NFL since I was 6 years old, you know how many people say you would never do that? My friends, my mom and dad didn't really say that, but luckily I had an uncle that coached, so they kind of believed it. But to everybody else, it was crazy. That could never happen to you because it never happened to anybody that I know. And then to fast forward, when I got to this level in my life, is when I told people I wanted to be a motivational speaker, I wanted to impact the world. One of my goals was to go speak in Africa. That was one of my goals. In 2012, I said, hey, I want to go speak in Africa. People was like, you know when people don't want to hurt your feelings, but they really don't believe in you, right? They kind of just tell you what you want to hear, but they're like, yeah, okay. I got a lot of that. It was like, Trent, okay, cool. Fast forward, I spoke in Africa 3 times now. Sold out events 3 times. And when I go over there and I get interviewed, it's so funny because they ask me, are you surprised that you're here? And I'll say, no, not really, because my mind was already in Africa years ago before my body showed up. That's vision. And I'll tell you right now, the same people that didn't believe in you, once you make it happen, they'll be, I told you can do it the whole time, right? That's how it works. Some people will never believe in you until it's popular to do so. So I would keep the people around me that believe in me when it's not popular to do so. Mindsets are very contagious. And y'all know y'all heard this thousands of times. What you surround your life around is what you will become. So if I'm you, when I leave here, I'm doing an evaluation, an audit on my circle. I'm asking, with every friend on my list, with every connection that I have, do I want to catch what they got? Because it's impossible to believe that you can achieve more when you're hanging around people that are doing nothing but selling for less. It's impossible to believe that you're full of greatness when you're hanging around people that are content with being average. It's very hard. When my circle got smaller, my vision got clearer. Less became more. And I had to lose some people I cared about, but sometimes you got to learn how to love people from a distance. Everybody's not meant to go on the journey with you. And I know it's hard, but in order to move up, there's some things you must be willing to give up. Everybody ain't meant to be in your boat rowing with you. Some people are drilling holes instead of rowing with you. So know your circle. I'm not trying to talk about friendships too much because I don't want y'all to like X everybody out your life. But I want you to get the right people around you. And sometimes those people are strangers. Strangers will support you more than anything else. You can ask even the biggest company in the world, their company is not made up of their family usually. It's usually made up of strangers. In order to be highly successful, you have to have strangers believe in you. So stop worrying about getting the validation from people around you so much and go prove yourself to yourself. Stop trying to prove yourself to everybody else and prove it to you. We live externally way too much. You're trying to make people believe in you, but the question is, do you even believe in yourself? Think about that. Because that's contagious. I don't know what right word or scientific thing it is, but I believe when you believe in yourself and you're connected to yourself, that's how other people connect with you. But when you don't believe, it creates a disconnect. All right, if y'all feel that, say straight up. Straight up. How many of y'all got haters? All right? Everybody. I want to talk about haters real quick and we're going to move forward. Because everybody loves when I talk about haters. So let me tell you something. You know, I was talking to my son backstage. I missed this football. He scored 5 touchdowns today on the game that I would miss, right? I'm like, my heart is broke, right? So we're going to make this very worth it. But I was talking to him because he went through this thing at school. And I don't know if I should even tell this, but anyway, he got a note from his girlfriend, right? I'm like, he's 11 years old, like, you shouldn't have a girlfriend yet. Stay focused. And the teacher ended up reading in front of the class or something like that. He was embarrassed, and it hurt his heart, right? So I talked to Tristan. He's a very emotional kid, right? He wears his heart on his sleeve. And so I told Tristan, I said, man, I'm going to tell you something. In life, you're going to go through this. Right, whether it's football, whether it's whatever you do, when you excel and you go seek greatness, you got to realize what comes with it. Everybody's not going to like you. Some people aren't going to like you simply just because you're you. They don't like you because of the way you talk, the way you dress. You might not have done anything to that person. They just don't like you because you're succeeding. I said sometimes it can be your own friends. I know coming from Fort Worth, Texas, not many people made it to the NFL. And as I grew and went to college and went to the NFL, I lost a lot of people close to me. And all I did was set out what we all set out to do. And so I told him, I said, if you're controlled by people's opinions, they will continue to control your life. And I want to share that with y'all. Y'all to realize with haters, greatness, that's a part of it. I get bullied every single day online. Every day. But I have a choice. I could focus on the 2% of hate, or I could focus on the 98% of love. And so many times we focus on that 2% of hate. And all the people that deserve you, you ignore them to address them. And I realized with myself, and I had to check myself, I was like, I'm spending way too much time on people that don't like me because I was insecure. And I was literally dedicating my time when I said I didn't have time, but I would dedicate my time to respond to them. The worst thing you can do with a hater is respond to them with words. The best thing you can do with a hater is respond to them with character. It's keep taking your life to the next level. I don't block people on my Instagram no more. I say, you want to hate on me, you have a front row seat to watch me make the world respect my greatness. You can always press unfollow. That's the thing that doesn't get me. I'm like, you can press unfollow, right? Takes 2 seconds. That's all you got to do, right? But you have to think about that for a second. If people are choosing to watch your every move, to follow you, and to know everything about you, that's not a hater. That's a confused supporter. They admire what you do. They just have a different way of showing it. Because think about this. If you really hated somebody, let's put it in regular terms. What's something that you hate?
Something that I
Yeah, like some food or something like that. Huh? Tofu, right? Okay, I feel you. So if I had like a buffet of tofu, would you even pay attention? No, you would go right past it, right? Because you don't like tofu. So what does that tell you? The things that you dislike, do you pay attention to it? Absolutely not. Some of your TV shows that you hate, you don't stop on it and watch it. Oh, let me see what, no, you pass over it. So when it comes to haters, if they're paying you, giving you attention, right? If they're paying attention to you, that means that they admire something about you. But when you have ego and pride mixed with admiration, you get jealousy. And as the great words of Drake says, jealousy is love and hate at the same time. So stop allowing haters to silence your voice. Please. There's a quote out there, I don't know who it's by, but and I'm paraphrasing, I'm probably butchering it. But if it says, if you don't want to receive any criticism, say nothing, be nothing, do nothing. You're in the wrong place. Silence your voice. Don't try to go achieve greatness. But that's a part of the process. And stop taking advice from people who are unsuccessful, but you want to be successful. That's the best thing I can tell you. Because everybody who told me that I couldn't make it to the NFL, guess what? They never win. None of them never been. When everybody told me, oh, you can't be a top motivational speaker, you can't do this, everybody was telling me that, unless they were threatened by me, but everybody was telling me that were people who were never speakers. Get around people who are trying to go where you're going. Because those are the mindsets that's going to push you through insecurity. It's going to push you through failure. It's going to push you through doubt. But if you have an environment of people that don't even have experience at what you're trying to be successful at, they will hold you back. You know, when a flower, how many of y'all garden in here? Anybody's gardening ever? Like garden? All right, I don't really garden, but you do? A little bit? Okay, let me ask you a question. So when you garden, say you had a flower, right, and that flower started to die, what would you do?
Try and take out the bad soil, see if I can salvage it, and then move it somewhere else where it can survive.
Take out the bad soil. So it's probably telling you that environment isn't right, for that flower. And there's another, I'm just quoting everything there's another quote that says this. It's actually in my book. I wrote it in my book. It says, and I love this quote, when a flower, and you can identify with this, when a flower doesn't blossom, you don't blame the flower, you fix the environment in which it grows, right? Yeah. It's the same thing with your life. If you looked at your life as a flower, this is the only time I'm going to tell you to point the finger. Maybe you're not growing, not because of what's inside of you, but because of what's surrounded by you. Some of us are in the wrong environment. So maybe it's time to uproot your life and put your life in the right environment. And like that flower, you will start to see your life bloom and blossom. Can y'all do that for me? Yeah. Say straight up if you feel that. Straight up. All right, I want to talk about this real quick. Anybody seen this video before? Yeah. Cool. All right. Everybody's your friend video. I'm going to tell y'all some just cool things. I guess the word is influencers. Anybody like trying to be an influencer or make content? Anybody? Okay, cool. So I want to share this because obviously this is my biggest video ever, right? 175 million views. I mean, what I love most though is this part, right? 4 million shares because anybody can view it. To see that people share it, it means that they care. I mean, they took time out today to actually press share because they thought it'd be helpful to other people. The thing about this video that's so cool is that the girl in the video is my sister-in-law. The scene that you see is literally my office kitchen. I actually took the toaster to make it look more like a house, and my wife still gets on me because I haven't brought the toaster back. And she reminded me of this the other day. She's like, can I have my toaster back? I was like, that toaster was like in an epic video. Like, we're keeping it there. We're going to like frame it. And it's funny because under my sweatshirt, like literally I have like house shoes on and like shorts, right? And it's my biggest video ever. And I want to touch on this because I know we have some influencers. I wish I could talk about content, but I don't have time to. But I just want to tell you, like, when it comes to this stuff, like everything I said in this video, for one, it was something that my sister-in-law was going through. So even though the video was recorded, it wasn't a real-time conversation. It was something that she really dealt with. And I want to tell you that you don't have to have some high production. You don't. As Mike was telling you, like I start off with my literally red wall videos with my cell phone. And some of us, we never start because we think we have to have all these things. That was at a table. with a toaster. That's it. So don't give yourself the excuses, I don't have it. Because what you have just might be enough, everything that you need. So think about that when you're creating content. As long as you come from a real place, it will always connect with people. Okay? So come from a real place. So I'll show you that to show, because a lot of people see this and they say, oh, like, man, that's easy for you, Trent. Like, you have 11 million followers on Facebook and, this is blah, blah, blah. Like, it's easy for you to say. Then I'll show people this. And I'm going to play this video for you real quick. Y'all don't laugh, all right? But this was 10 years ago. This was 2009 in my mom's house in her guest room. And at this point in my life, I can tell you right now, I was living rehabish. What I mean by that, I was like 1 foot in, 1 foot out, right? I was on the journey of my change. And a lot of us, we never start because we're trying to be perfect too much. We're afraid to be judged. We're afraid of what people are going to say. Let me tell you something. People are going to judge you regardless. No matter how great you are, they're going to tell you that you ain't great enough. If you're low, they're going to tell you that, you're too low. Everybody's going to judge you, so you might as well give them something great to judge. You can't be afraid to start. Let me show y'all something right quick. Here you go.
Hey, what's up, family? What's up, world? This is Rehab Time. My name is Trent Shelton. Rehab Time is a place where we get our mind, our body, our souls right. If this is your first time, thank you. If you know a friend, tell a friend if they need help.
All right, that's enough of that. All right. Overnight success, right? That's a real moment. I decided to just be real. You don't have to be perfect to help people. All you have to do is be real. Stop trying to oh my gosh, with social media, and I just hate to keep harping on it, but as an influencer, one of these people, so I have to say this because not a lot of people say it. Don't allow social media to make you think that you're not enough. Even when you watch my content, don't be like, oh, well, I can't make content like that. You saw where I started at. You just got to start. But you can't be afraid to start small. You can't. Like that video it has more views now because I grew over time, but literally that video probably got 100 views when I first put it out, if that. And I was excited. I was doing backflips. I was like, I made it. But I started. And I knew that once I started, that's all that I ever did, because the most important step in any type of journey is your first step. And then the step after that. But you can't be afraid to look small. It's okay if 2 people or 3 people show up or 4 people show up or 50 people show up. It's all right. If you can touch one life, you can impact many. So what excuse, you see the 175 million views, but people didn't see the 5 views. People see 11 million followers. They didn't see when I had 11 people. But I kept going. I didn't define my worth by how many people showed up, by how many speaking engagements I had. I kept going no matter what. Because I signed up forever for this. Again, there's no throwing in the towel. There's no quitting. It's a forever thing. Because it was a promise that I made to bring it back to the beginning, a commitment that I made to my friend that committed suicide. That's why the reason has to be real for you. But we live in this filter world where everybody's scared to be themselves. Everybody walks around with filters, just like on social media. We're scared to post certain pictures and wondering, is this going to get a lot of likes? Am I going to post it? Because it's not. We're so afraid to be ourselves. We trade in our identity to be someone else because we think that's who the world wants us to be. And you see you see a lot of people who do the same things, look alike, talk alike, and you don't realize your greatest gift is you. Your uniqueness is your greatest gift. The thing that people told me I should turn down on, I should be more professional, actually helped my life the most because it separated me. Trent, you should cut your hair. It separated me. Trent, you should hide your tattoo sleeves. It separated me because in a world of everybody being the same, in an industry of everybody being so professional, I moved into that world by being myself. So realize your difference that makes you different can be the thing that makes you different from everything else and change your whole entire life. But you got to be willing to own that. So please, please, know that you're enough in the world that tells you that you're not enough. But Trent, I'm trying to find my purpose. Where are you looking for it at? Who has your purpose? You know, I see a lot of people teach about how to find your purpose. And I'm like, I used to say that because it sounded good. Where are you finding your purpose at? The person down the street got it? Social media got it? Purpose is not something that you search for. Purpose is who you are. You'll never find your purpose until you embrace who you truly are. You were created for purpose, on purpose. And when you realize that you are purpose, you can take your life into any environment and create change. But Trent, I don't have value to give. Okay, I challenge you. When you leave this event, go tell somebody that they're incredible. I bet you like their world up. You don't have value to give, but you just gave value. Too many times we tie purpose to position and titles. Titles are for structure, not power. Y'all realize that, right? So you got purpose in you. But until you realize that, you'll be searching for it. You're thinking that the next job has it, that the next person has it, that the next opportunity has it. And you'll be living your whole life searching for purpose, realizing it was right in the mirror the whole entire time. So give yourself to the word. I'm not saying that you can't change and evolve. Obviously, I did and I grew. You should always want to grow. But your purpose is you. And until you realize that, you'll be searching for something that you probably will never find. And sometimes we think, I found my purpose. The NFL is my purpose. And what happens when I lost the NFL? I lost my life. You know why? Because I tied everything into the NFL. I didn't realize the NFL was what I did. It wasn't who I was. And some of us, we're like that in relationships. We're like that with our job. We allow those things to complete us. And when those things leave us, if they do, guess what? We're incomplete again. Life is not about becoming anything for most of us, especially if you're 30 plus, 25 plus. It's about unbecoming. It's about peeling back the layers and getting back to your core, who you are at your soul. Because since we were born, we've been influenced to be something else. We've been sold these things on TV. We've been sold that we're not enough so we can buy people's products. We've been sold these things. We've been sold dreams by people that ain't even living it. And we sit there and we believe it. And every time we believe it, it tells ourselves subconsciously that you're not enough. You're not enough. You need this. You need a new car. You need a new house. You need this. You need this. And once you get it, you need more. You need more. You need more. I got a chance to go to Fiji and it changed my life. Fiji is a third world country. A lot of y'all see Fiji, the beautiful islands, and you're like, oh, this is incredible. If you've never been, it's a third world country. But yet they're the most happiest people you'll ever meet. In a third world country, how does that work? Well, I asked one of the Fijians out there, and he told me this. He was my waiter. He says in America, in a lot of the world, you're always you're being programmed to think that you need more. More success, more. And if you're always being taught you need more, it's telling you that you don't have enough every single time. Once you get 100,000, what's going to happen? I need 200,000. Once you get 200,000, I need 2 million. 2 million, 4 million. And it just never stops. You have to appreciate your life. Appreciation is the first step to elevation. And he said, when you learn to appreciate everything that you have, you'll realize that you have everything that you need. And I get it. This is not a popular message in the personal development space. It's not. Because personal development wants to always tell you that you're missing something so you can buy something of theirs. I'm just being real. Not saying you can't buy products and strategies to grow yourself, but realize that you are enough and stop buying that you're not. All right, if y'all got that, say straight up. There's a you inside of you that you haven't even met yet, and that you is the greatest you. And y'all still with me? Yes. There's something I live by called championship mindset. And I'm a big person on mental toughness, emotional resilience. If people ask, what's your greatest trait? I always say emotional resilience. I'm able to push through with emotions, right? I always say facts over feelings. Just because you feel something doesn't mean that's the fact about something. When you feel like you're less, and I go, and if this helps anybody, listen, my life is not perfect. The reason why I make these spoken words and videos is things that I go through too. I have my doubts. I have my fears. I have my insecurities. I know that's not popular to say too on stage because everybody wants to be a guru or expert. I got so many questions just like you. But I choose not to surrender to my struggle. I choose to make my struggle surrender to me. I choose to keep moving forward no matter if I don't even know where I'm moving towards. But with emotional resilience, you're able to push past your emotions. See, some of us, we depend on motivation. Right? You're here, you might be inspired, whatever it is. You're like, when I leave, I'm changing everything. Like, new year, new me. Right? I'm changing everything. But if you need a new year to change, are you really serious about change? Motivation isn't enough. What you gonna do when you're not motivated? I don't care who tells you whatever. Nobody is waking up 100% of their life motivated every single day they wake up. At least I'm not. If you do, let me know your secret. Starbucks, maybe that's your secret. But we all go through times where we don't want to do it. We don't feel like it. But you got to find a process, and I don't have time to share my Protect My Peace process. Go on my Instagram. I just did a 7-minute video about it about 2 days ago, where it helps me live intentional. A lot of times we're not living intentional, we're living reactive. The first thing you do when you wake up in the morning, are you grabbing your phone? Checking your emails? That's a reactive life. You're not leading your life, you're being led by this world. An intentional life would be, I'm not going to touch my phone. And I'm going to take care of the things that I need to take care of. I like to call it my 4 A's. Appreciation, affection, accomplishment, activity. But that thing is on you. You got to create the energy that you need to conquer your day. So when you leave here about a week from now, 2 weeks from now, what you going to need, another high from another motivational event? Books don't change your life. They don't. You know what changed your life? Application of those books. So if you're here just to hear somebody speak and you're not writing stuff down, you're not really going to implement this, you wasted your time. That's facts. And I know some of y'all might not want to hear that, but it's real. Actions create change. I like to say act. Application creates transformation. Even if it's just one thing that you learn. Even the smallest adjustments can make a minor change in your life. So when it comes to mindset, I'm always thinking about how can I better myself? How can I really live it to a whole nother level so when I get on stage, I can just speak from the heart. It's not some rehearsed thing. People ask, how do you prepare for your own on stage? Well, I live life every single day. That's how I prepare. So with championship mindset, any high-level person I've been around, they have these 5 traits. High-level mom, dad that you never heard of. High-level janitor that you never heard of. Peyton Manning, whoever you want to say that I know that's been at a high level. They have these 5 traits. All right, write these down. Number 1, commitment. And my definition of commitment is simply this: staying loyal to what you said you were going to do long after the mood you set in has left you. And I'll say that again: staying loyal to what you said you were going to do long after the mood you set in has left you. That's commitment. Inconvenience exposes commitment. So when it's inconvenient to do so, are you still going to do so? When it gets real, are you still going to stay loyal to what you said you were going to do? When nobody shows up to what you're doing, are you still going to move forward? That's commitment. Number 2 is discipline. Discipline is simply this: get good at saying no to the things that don't get you a yes. Whatever your yes is, if it ain't getting you there, say no to it. Sometimes that's your habits. Sometimes that's people. Sometimes that's your principles. If it's not moving you towards it, then guess what it's doing? It's holding you back from it. That's true discipline. Number 3 is consistency. I like to say consistency is anchor your actions in greatness so daily you produce nothing less than your very best. How many people here feel like they have a consistency problem? Right? I want to tell you this. You don't have a consistency problem. And I want to prove this theory true. How many of you go to, I shouldn't say it because any of your bosses in here, how many of you go to a job that you really don't like? Don't raise your hand. Just kind of wink at me or something. All right? Right? It's like, Think about this. Some of us in here, we go to a job that we don't like every single day. Is that being consistent? Absolutely. Some of us with school, right? We went through 12 years. Some of you went to college. And most of us didn't like school. I know I didn't. But we showed up every single day. Even with myself having a newborn, right? I'm changing diapers every single day. Of course, I want to change. Well, I don't want to change them, but I have to change them, right? But I do that. I'm consistent in doing it. How is it that we can be consistent at the things that we don't like, but we can't be consistent at the thing that we say we love? So I don't think we have a consistency problem. What we have is a commitment problem. What we have an understanding how powerful this thing is problem. The reason why we're consistent at things that we don't like your job, is because you know if you don't show up at your job, what's going to happen? You don't get fired. You get fired, what's going to happen? You ain't going to get paid. You get paid. Don't get paid, what's going to happen? Right? Can't pay your bills, things are going to crumble. So you understand very vividly and quickly the repercussions of you not showing up to that job. Me with my daughter, if I don't change her diaper, she's going to go through hell, right? If I don't change it, it's going to be crying. I understand the repercussions, so I do it. School, you understood the repercussions. If you don't show up to school, then there's a long trail domino effect of things that if you don't show up. The thing about it is when it comes to our dreams and our visions, we don't understand it. We don't understand the repercussions of not showing up because most of us have never lived our dreams. So you got to forward think in this situation. If you don't show up to, I'm going to use the word dreams, to live your dreams, what repercussions are going to happen? See, I know now, if I don't show up for rehab time, I know what repercussions are going to happen. So again, the reason you're not consistent, and I hate to tell you this, but it's just real, it don't mean that much to you. Some of y'all like, you want to fight me, I know. But it's honest. It doesn't mean that much to you. Your life doesn't depend on it. Your life depends on that job. You know that. But if you say your life depends on your dream and your vision, why aren't you showing up to it as if your life does depend on it? So if you want to hack that consistency thing, start operating as if your life depends on it. Start doing it. If you don't show up, start having repercussions set up in your life. Because not only does your family depend on it, there's people that need your message that you don't even know. There's people that need your product that you don't even know. There's people that need your story that you don't even know. And by you not showing up every single day to your dreams and being committed to it, you're selfish. But Trent, it's so much fear. You don't have fear. You're not, as my friend Rachel Hollis says, you're not scared. You're not scared of failing. You're scared of what people are going to think of you failing. And it's true. The easiest way to get over fear is simple. Change what awaits on the other side. Fear is creating a known result from a situation you haven't experienced yet. Prove it, Trent. Well, anybody ever went skydiving before? Right? I have. Were you scared or are you like a daredevil? You like, yeah, let's do it. No? Right? You were scared, right? Let me ask you this. When you went skydiving, what were your thoughts? Why were you scared? What were you thinking? You're going to crash, right? Everything bad. Like the parachute's not going to open. I'm going to crash. Like I'm going to look dumb for doing it. Everybody, why did he go skydiving? Like you shouldn't have did that. All these things. You're creating a negative result before you experience it. So obviously you're going to create fear in your life. I went skydiving. I don't know if anybody's heard this story, but it was a birthday gift. For one of my friends, he was like, I don't know what to get you, right? He's like, I don't know what to get. And he's like, I got it. And so he buys me a skydiving package. I'm like, bro, you could have found anything else in the world than me going skydiving. Anything. Got me some movie tickets, anything, right? And he said, nah, man, like, make the world respect your greatness. Live it, breathe it, be it. He's like, my friends do that a lot on me. Like, they'll use my whole sayings against me. I don't know if anybody has to go through that. It's like, you got to live it. So I'm like, all right, cool. Because I didn't want to seem, like I was scared, but I was. Which heights was one of my greatest fears, especially heights like that. So I do my research, and I get online. And I realize there's a weight limit for skydiving. It was like 230 pounds. I'm like 218. So I'm like, cool, I'll just eat a lot. And then when I get there, I'm going to be overweight. I can't do it. I want to do it, bro, but Hey, my metabolism's slow this month. I don't know. And so that didn't work, by the way. So we're driving, and it's funny because I still remember this conversation. We're just quiet in the car, and like when I'm scared, I'm just quiet. Like I'm just not saying anything. I'm a thinker. And he looked and said, Trent, he's like, you scared? And I was like, yeah, bro, I'm scared, man. He's like, good, me too, bro. We in this together, right? So we get there, and like soon as we park, we get out the car, and there's two like ladies that are older in age, right? They had to be like 75, 80 years old. And they're like yelling, screaming like, are y'all ready? This was the greatest thing ever. Like they had the whole like, you know, like the goggles and the doggy hat, like the airplane, they had everything, right? They were crazy. Even the jacket, like a pilot, they just, I don't know, they went all out. You would have thought it was Halloween or something like that. So it's like, she shakes me like, are you ready? And I'm saying yes, but I'm saying no. I was like, yes, right? And she was like, don't worry, it'll be the greatest thing in your life. I'm like, easy for you to say. So we get in there, we get fitted up, everything, and then we get in this plane. I don't know what plane you was in, but we get in this plane. It's like one of those crop duster old planes, right, that can barely get up. The wind is taking it like this when it's landing. I was like, we getting in that? I was like, nah. We get in there, and there's three groups, because you got to do a tandem jump. There's me, my friend, and this other guy that's doing the jump. So the plane is like struggling to get up. It's like, and the guy was like, oh, this happens all the time, right? Just, and I'm looking at my friend like, man, I'm going to punch you in the face, man, we get off of here. So we get up there, and we get at about like, we're 8,000 feet, right? Everything, I mean, at that point, everything looks like Google Maps, right? It's tiny. We stop, and I'm just like trying to use all the things that I know to psych myself up. Like I'm doing my own spoken words. I'm like, man, you got this, but none of it was working. So we stop, they make this loud noise like, and the door opens, and then so the first guy went, and he scoots to the edge, and all I hear is, ah. I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, well, hey, at least I lived a great life if something happens. So I'm sitting down, and I try to scoot up, and I felt like a resistance, like I can't scoot up. So the guy was like, what are you doing? And I was like, let's go. Like, I'm ready to jump. He's like, I'm going next. He's like, no. He's like, this is 8,000 feet. Your friend paid for 16,000 feet. So I stopped, and I gave him the stare of death. Like, for real, I'm going to punch you in the face when we get off here. He was like, what, bro? 8,000, 16,000, if the parachute don't open, you dead anyway, so you might as well just go all out. Like, you have a point, all right? So we get to the top. We get to 16,000 feet. I'm making this story, I would say, to make the story even longer. We get to the top, and I realized this in this moment. This is what I always teach from. I realized this in this moment. I started to think about all the reasons why I was scared, right? I started thinking about, I don't know if I was like going through like, you know, they say you're about to die, you like go through all the times in your life, right? And I'm thinking about all these moments where I've been scared. And the thing that I came up with, the first one was like, the reason that you're telling yourself you're scared, you're telling yourself the parachute's not going to open. So like, And I thought about public speaking. When I used to be afraid to come on stage, I was telling myself, oh, I'm going to mess up, or people aren't going to go to sleep, or all these things. And I started to realize, before I even stepped in the ring, I was defeating myself. So why would I ever step in the ring? At all. So in that moment, literally, it just flipped for me with fear. I said, man, this is going to be the most incredible thing. I'm like the baby boy of two other brothers. My brothers are scared. So just for bragging rights with that, like my brothers are 38 and 41, but it's still competitive. So I'm like, I can hit them up. I can tell them they scared. I did it. I'm the baby brother. Yeah, ha, ha, right? And just I realized, too, how this was going to affect so many areas of my life and be contagious throughout my life. If I can do one of my greatest fears, then when I come to something else that I'm fearful, it's leverage. So all I did was say, this is going to be the greatest moment. It's going to be incredible. I'm going to love this, and I can use this. Jumped out the plane, the greatest moment of my life, one of them. It was incredible. And I started using that same mindset to everything with fear in my life. So public speaking. People say, Trent, like, how did you get over the fear of public speaking? Well, for one, I always have nerves because I care. I feel like if you care enough, you should have nerves of wanting to do your best. But I realized I was being fearful because I was too into my own head and my own self. I was selfish. I was focusing on me instead of focusing on the audience I'm about to serve. Servanthood and selfishness don't go together. So backstage, I'm always saying, listen, hey, God, just use me. Hopefully I can touch one person. And let me just go up here and be as real as I can be. And immediately, that fear is wiped off. How would your life look if you stop letting fear control your life? Some of us don't even realize that fear is the root issue for everything in our lives. Why we haven't started that business, why we haven't went to go achieve that dream, why we haven't did the thing that we know we were created to do. How long are you going to let that hold you back? How long are you going to keep coming to conferences and hearing the same stuff over and over but not applying it to your life? How many videos are you going to watch? I tell people all the time, I don't want you to watch my videos anymore. I hope it gets to the point where you graduate from my videos. I really do. Maybe as a reminder to you later on, but I want you to graduate because that season of your life, you needed it, but you actually made the change. Stop letting fear control you. If y'all got that, say straight up. Straight up. Y'all for real? Yeah. So how many of y'all going skydiving? There we go. All right. Hey, but listen, I didn't tell you to do that because if the parachute, that's not on me. All right. All right. So I'm about to wrap this up a little bit. And do we have time for Q&A? Can I do that real quick? Cool. Because I want to do that, but I really want to just, if everybody can get on your feet, I just want to have a moment with you guys right quick. Just following my heart. And if you can, just don't focus on me. Really close your eyes. Don't focus on what you got to do after this. Don't focus on your neighbor, if they're closing their eyes, anything like that. But as you've seen, this was my family and my world. And the question I always ask myself is, when I get to the end of my life, what's going to matter? And this last year, I've been having a conversation with the 90-year-old Trent. And the 90-year-old Trent always humbles me and makes me remember that what's going to matter when I get to that age. You know, Les Brown says that the richest place in the world is not a bank. It's not somebody's trust fund. It's the cemetery. Because so many people go there with the books that they never wrote, the words that they never said, the ideas that they never gave to the world. And there's millions of people that die with regret. There's millions of people that waste their whole entire life not giving their best. What is it in you today that's going to make you decide that that's not going to be you? Because life isn't guaranteed. Our forever can end tomorrow. And just because that path might be lonely doesn't mean the path is wrong. You got to realize everybody won't be willing to grow to where you want to go. Everybody won't make it to your next level because everybody won't be willing to sacrifice what it takes to create greatness. So in order to move up, there's some things you must be willing to give up. In order to get ahead, there's some things you must be willing to leave behind. Holding on to your limitations won't create new destinations. Carrying dead weight won't help you be great. Never let the thought of losing people cause you to lose yourself. This is your journey. It's not about perfection, but progression. It's not about being perfect. It's about becoming better. I'm going to be real with you. Struggle is a part of it. Losses are a part of it. Setbacks are a part of it. Sometimes you have to go through your worst just to become your best. Sometimes you got to lose everything just to gain everything. But the thing that I want you to do right now is to never back down even when your back's against the wall. It matters how many times you get back up, not how many times you fall. It's about your mentality. What's the point of dreaming the dream? You're not working to turn that dream into reality. So speak life into your life. Be your own motivation. A legend is just an ordinary person with extraordinary determination. So find a way or make one. Because at the end, you just regret the chance you didn't take, so find the courage to take one. Your only limit is you. Don't surrender to that struggle. Make that struggle surrender to you. Listen, pain is temporary, but giving up is forever. Never be good with good enough when you know inside you lives someone better. You didn't come this far just to settle. You didn't come this far just to accept whatever. You came this far to take it to your next level. You came this far to become something greater. What makes it even more special is that you didn't depend on favors. Is that you did it with plenty haters. But as you can see, it doesn't matter who doubts your life when your life is highly favored. So everybody in here, for your dreams, for your vision, for your family, for everything, don't you never stop working. And always remember this, when the destination is worth reaching, the path won't always be perfect. But like I always tell you, it all starts with you. It's rehab time. Let's get it. Thank you so much. I appreciate y'all.